10 things you should know about buying and selling a condo in
Panama City Beach, Florida.
Welcome back to the YouTube channel, Bay Real Experts, where we aim to educate you on the local real estate market so your next move can be smart. I'm Sean Casilli.
I'm Alice Delapena with Coldwell Banker.
Me too. I'm with Coldwell Banker Realty
Yes, we
as well.
are. Yes, we are.
All right, you guys. We're going to talk about we're going to try and put chapters down below if you want to skip around to the things that are most important to you. But we're going to try and keep it to about 10 things that you should know whether you're buying or selling a condo in Panama City Beach, or if you are an agent. You could be an agent of 30 years and never sold a condo, or you could be a brand new agent and never sold a condo, or just wanting to brush up on some of your knowledge and skills. You can go ahead and skip down to the chapters below. But one thing that I do want to start with is it's kind of, don't you think it's kind of difficult to, as a buyer, shop by building on third-party websites like Zillow?
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to select that, but
we have a solution for you guys. If you want to check the description area down below, we have a condos section of our website where there's about 100 condos that are in Bay County, Panama City Beach, Florida, where you can search for them or scroll through them in alphabetical order. And then if you want to click on the building that you're interested in, you can read a little bit about it.
Right. Or no, you drive by like the majestic beach towers and what is for sale there? We got you covered.
Right. So click on the link down below if you want to shop by condo name. And then you can watch some videos that we might have done about it and go through the active inventory that's for sale. It doesn't matter at what point in the future you see this video, whatever is the most current active inventory at the time when you click on those will be there for you.
Right on. So let's get to it.
Without further ado, this will be chapter 2, I guess, because the first part was our intro, right? So litigations, that's a big one that I think a lot of people, whether you're an agent or a buyer or seller, they don't realize the impact that it could have on the sale. Give us a little bit of your thoughts on litigation.
Here and there, you're going to find a building that has had or will have a potential litigation. We have a handful of
and that's fancy speak for lawsuit.
If you want to know which current litigations are happening in the building, you can go to the Bay County Clerk Court.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you guys. Sorry, honey, I'm going to cover your face here for a second, but if you we'll put a link in the description below to this as well. So whether you're a consumer or an agent, here's a great tip for you. So after you go to the link, just as an example, we happen to know that there's an open litigation going on at Top of the Gulf. So we've typed that into the name box of the search field here. And then you click on search, and then you'll see an area where you can sort by status. Go ahead and click on that until if there is any open, it'll pop up at the top. You can expand this folder, and then you'll see the case type is negligence other. You can click on view case, and this is all public information, you guys. So this is just an example. If you wanted to go through and click on any of these to see the case details.
Right. If you want to know what it's about, go all the way to the bottom and you're going to see the initial complaint.
Gotcha. Okay. So like right here for this example.
Right.
So we're just trying to teach you guys on how to look for these things. But Alice, why is this relevant? Why should people care about that?
Litigations are going to have a direct impact on the financing part of the building. If you're going to get a financing, the lender is going to care what type of litigations are going on right now at the time of the financing.
Yeah, some more serious than others. So it's really a case-by-case scenario. It's not just like an automatic, there's a litigation on the building, can't get financing.
Right.
So what kind of, when we say lawsuits, I mean, should buyers in the market be worried about these things? I mean, what are the kind of popular things that people open a lawsuit on the building for?
Right. Like this one, for example, that top of the Gulf that you pull is an accident that happened, and whoever suffered the accident filed a lawsuit against the HOA.
So is this pretty common in Panama City Beach? I mean, do the buildings have these issues all the time?
Right. It's going to happen. I don't take it lightly because it's an accident, but it does happen. About every year we have an incident that somebody fell off the balcony, and that gets into a litigation case from the family suing the HOA.
Yeah, please be careful, you guys, when whether you're trying to enjoy yourself and knock a few back. We actually talked to somebody who survived falling off a balcony, but not everyone is so lucky. So just you practice some common sense. We know it is going to happen, but enjoy yourself, have fun, look after your families, and make sure those doors are locked at night if you have little ones.
Children's, yes.
There are some other examples of, maybe somebody's finger will get slammed in a stairwell door or something like that. So I would say that, it's not a rule, but it's more, if you think about a building that has 100 units, it's probably statistically, because there's less density, the risk of you having a lawsuit is lower. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but
against another one that has 700 units.
Yeah, we usually see an active lawsuit on some of the bigger buildings. That's just the way it is. But there's trade-offs. There's usually a better value that goes along with the risk.
So if you're concerned about what's going on, just go to the Bay County Clerk of Courts, and you can research yourself to see what's happening instead of, or of course, you can call the HOA and get information on what's happening.
Absolutely. And I just want to take a second, you guys, if we're going to continue on through this video. It is going to be a long one, but if you find this kind of content useful and you're learning something, please do us a solid. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And when we see those thumbs up happen and we see the subscriber count go up, it's cool for us kind of as a hobby, and it motivates us to want to go ahead and
put more information out there for you.
Take a shower, comb our hair, and get in front of the camera. So if you guys want to support the channel and motivate us to keep producing content like that, that's what works. Hey, if you want to leave a comment below and say, hey, make more videos, that helps too. Okay, enough of that. Moving on. Some of these chapters are going to be based off of common questions that we get as well. So let's talk a little bit about what buildings are okay to short-term rent and which ones aren't, and how that may be important just from a financing perspective. Mm-hmm.
So what is going to rule is going to be the HOA that is going to, the HOA is going to determine if they can do or can or cannot do the short-term rentals on the unit, on the building.
So it also depends on, if you're buying a condo, what your intended use is. If you want to be able to rent it short term, that's a huge thing that you're going to need to know in advance before you even get the process started. And again, I'm going to give us a little plug here. This is really valuable information. If you're a brand new agent, we left a link down below in the description. I got a Google Maps list of all of the condos in Bay County, Panama City Beach, that do not allow short-term rentals. And I'll tell you, it's about 10% of the buildings. There's about 100 condos or condominiums, and about 10 of them, check the link to see the actual number of condos that don't allow it. But hey, if you're a professional or a retiree, or maybe you just want to stare at the water all day long, those are going to speed up your search so much.
Our MLS created a field not too long ago that help us to see which ones do and don't. But you can see that if you're looking on Zillow or Realtor.com.
That's true. But I want to just give myself a little bit of kudos and say that I've been trying to gather this information for the last several years before the field was put into our MLS. So if you want a shortcut and you don't want to search by each individual condo and name, and you just want to know the ones that do not allow short-term rentals. If you're in the market to purchase something because you want to live there, or
Right.
you want it to be your second home, and you don't want the transient traffic coming in and out, that's a great place to start. Do we want to get into financing and how it's affected by short-term rentals?
Let's go there.
Okay. Let's segue into financing. Let's talk about it all.
Right. The ones that do not allow short-term rentals, you don't have a problem with that. But it was a couple of years ago that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac decided that all the buildings that do accept short-term rentals, they are no longer warrantable. So can't get conventional financing on those anymore.
Cannot. Right. Okay. So what type of loan products would be available if, let's say, you wanted to buy in a building that did allow short-term rentals? Let's say, Tidewater, Lake Town Wharf, Shores of Panama.
Right. The most popular will be the portfolio in-house loan. And there's another one that is now very popular with the DSCR loan that is only based on the income that unit will bring, and is usually financed under LLC, and you don't need tax returns for that.
Yeah. So, if you have maybe your personal debt to income ratio is maxed out already, maybe a DSCR loan would be a good option for you.
If you have 10 loans already and it cap out conventional, you can go for DSCR.
So, Alice, what about like a 800 number that I found, from some national lender?
Oh, dear God, yes.
I don't want to name any names, but
yeah,
if I have my own lender, I'm already pre-qualified. We get that a lot, by the way, you guys. And I'm not picking on anyone, but this is something that we run into a lot, so it is very important. I want to stress this point, and I'm going to let you talk a little bit around it, but your qualifications as a buyer are not what's in question.
Right.
If you're pre-approved with a certain lender and you have a relationship with that lender, good for you. We're very happy for that. We're not trying to step on anyone's toes. We don't try to sabotage the relationship you have with your lender.
Like if you're,
we just want you to get what you want. And how's that work?
Right. If you're either if you're local or if you're not local, you came from another state to buy here and you have a strong relationship with your lender that you handle your business money. And so make sure that you ask the question that, are you allowed to finance non-warrantable condos?
Again, if you want to check the description area, we'll give you a cheat sheet. We'll give you the question to ask your lender, and not so much the person that's taking your application, because a lot of these national lenders, they have, several people in the process, and the first person that you talk to is
a data entry. If you're applying online, it's going to be a data entry person that has no idea what the loans are about.
Yeah, and oftentimes they're very excited.
Yes, we can do it.
To put in your application. So I would check the description below, but we'll give you the script to ask your lender the question, and better yet, to have them ask their underwriting department, because
right.
The loan originator, if they're not familiar with it, it really needs to be run past the underwriter if that's something they can do or not.
So if you're dealing with a building that accepts short-term rentals, which is the majority of people are looking for, if you're looking for rental income, if you operate as a condotel, means that if it has a check-in desk downstairs, that makes it non-warrantable. If the building operates out of special assessments instead of reserves, that makes it non-warrantable. That is a long list that
we're going to get to that in a second. It's a little bit further down the list, but that's a little preview of special assessments versus operating off reserves. But again, go down to the description if you want that cheat sheet question to ask your lender. If you don't have representation yet from a buyer's agent that's local, we'd love to help you with that. Give us a call. We can tell you which buildings are considered non-warrantable condotels. But if you do have an agent already, that's fine. Just ask them.
And we also know the lenders that can provide financing on those non-warrantable.
We probably should have mentioned that first, but I guess I'm erring on the side of caution. I don't want to offend anyone. That we're not trying to steer your business away from any particular lender. But there are, if you are, first find the building that you want.
Right.
And then ask your agent or ask us, hopefully, which lenders can lend on that building, or if it's a free-for-all and a national lender can do it.
Because a lot of our local lenders did homework on it. I'm not going to say a lot, but it's like a handful of them decided to be proactive and got that condo questionnaire and got everything out of the way to have it approved by the in-house underwriters so they can provide financing on it. So they step ahead of all the ones that are not local.
And just to fast forward, why is this important? We're giving you a lot of facts, but let's just paint a scenario here real quick. If you're a seller, it's important to have an agent that understands that this could be a problem.
Absolutely.
So when you get an offer that's financed, you want to look at that pre-approval letter and have a listing agent that knows whether historically that lender can do it or not, or at least has the knowledge to know what question to ask and call the number on the pre-approval letter and run through it before you get under contract.
Right. Very important. Have you recently landed on that building? Are you aware of this? Are you aware of that? What's going on? And
if you're a buyer's agent, sadly, we've heard of several times, we're always grateful to get business, but it's unfortunate for others when people come to us after they've had a bad experience with somebody else that didn't know to ask these questions. So they get under contract.
All excited.
Use a lender, and and the lender's disappointed as well, because a lot of the times that's the only condotel that they've ever even heard about.
Yeah.
If it's a national lender, the business that they do in Panama City Beach is probably just, a fraction of what they would normally do. So it's a very unique product that not everyone can loan on, and you don't want to end up under contract and then have it blow up on you. Right.
Because the condo questionnaire is part of the loan approval process, and if they haven't lent on that building before, they're gonna do that condo questionnaire for the first time and find out what's happening.
Yeah, I mean it's not exactly the same thing, but this picture just came into my head of like trying to pay for a property with monopoly money. It's like, yeah, I got $100, and it's like, well, what kind of $100? Let me see proof of funds. Well, see, here's my monopoly statement right here. Well,
you work if you play Monopoly.
Right. Maybe that's a bad example. Okay, moving on. Some of the other questions that we get is about, or maybe questions you should be asking, is if a condo or a condominium operates off of special assessments or off of reserves. And we kind of touched on it. So now is the proper chapter to jump into that.
So that takes voting by the owners on the building if they're going to operate off special assessments or reserves. So what does that mean? Like everything and anything, it needs maintenance. So at a certain point, if you have a unit, you have to keep up with it. We have to clean the AC. You have to make sure that your water heater is newer than 10 years if you're gonna get insurance on it. For the building, the same thing. You have to make sure that your roof is good. You have to paint the building. You have to service the pool and all that. So for that, you need additional money. Some buildings decided that they don't want to collect that extra dollar for the maintenance.
And all of these things are controlled by the voters or the owners, basically. So whether it's a Facebook group that has a very strong opinion that gets propagated throughout all the owners, or something in the water. Basically, it's up to the owners on how their association will operate. So the majority vote rules.
Right. So if they operate of reserves, there's always money there to cover the maintenance. And if they operate of special assessments, that's what everybody, when looking to buy condos, is there any special assessments coming up? I need to know that. So that's when you want to know how the HOA operates.
Think of it as a savings account, really.
Right,
It's like,
right.
Do you want to fix your house based off of savings that you've budgeted for? Of course, like just for example, us, like if we wanted to take some money out of savings to repair some damaged hardy board siding on the side of the house,
right,
we're still going to have a conversation about it to make sure that's what we want to spend that on.
Right.
But we already have it set aside for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we were just being a little more hopeful that we wouldn't have to repair anything on the house and didn't set anything aside, then we might be looking at, well, do we want to have chicken tacos for a month so that we can afford that and find the money from
we always
somewhere?
can have chicken tacos.
Well, I was just thinking, the chicken breast is a little bit cheaper taco than, some nice.
Filet.
I would not put filet in a taco. Maybe some cuts off of a prime loin. We're getting off topic here.
I know, because we can eat tacos every day.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the fact.
So instead of having fillets, not a filet taco, but I get where you're going with that. Instead of having the filet and wine on Friday, then it would just be another taco day, which is not a problem for us.
So
Bad
make
example
that call
again.
Make that call to the HOA to figure out how they operate and get that budget from the seller, the HOA budget, to see if they have reserves or if they don't have reserves.
Okay, another question. Next chapter, insurance. We get a lot of questions on what kind of insurance do I need?
The condos, you need the age of 6. And we touched base a little bit when we're talking the previous chapter. So the requirements to have your content policy. So one of those is that you have a newer water heater. So if you purchasing a unit that have a old water heater, older than 10, 12 years old, you're going to need to replace that to get your coverage.
And a nice analogy we like to use when she's talking about contents insurance, we like to say, like, well, if you were to turn the condo and face it towards the balcony and just shake it, anything that falls out, that's what you're insuring. So 99.9% of the time on a condo, the insurance is part of your condo association dues for the building.
Right.
Now, what the HO6 is contents only, or all the stuff that falls out of the Cracker Jack box when you
right. So if the building gets damaged, like we had a hurricane a couple years ago, and you have issues from the outside, the new roof, the HOA is going to fix that up to your drywall. And
with a special assessment or out of reserves.
Right.
Okay, so now if we're actually at the point of purchasing a condo, what would you recommend as far as rental management? Would you recommend hiring somebody to do it yourself? What are the options there?
I'll always say trust a professional. There are so many rental management companies to choose from. Of course, we do have our favorites that we like to recommend because they are doing a great service for some of our customers. And that is the reason we don't benefit in any form or shape recommending a rental management company. They do have some that are on site, and they have some that charge from 10 to 25%, but in like in everything, right, Sean? You get what you pay for, right?
Yeah, and in this case, that may not apply 100% of the time. We have heard some reports of the ones that charge in the upper range of their commission that they charge. in the 25% range. Again, I don't want to name names, but
Right.
The service may not be as good, or the revenue that they generate may not be as good as. Let me just put it this way. We have our favorite companies because our customers give us feedback on who has made them the
Right.
most money and who has provided the best service. And those companies charge about 20%. At the time of the recording of this video, I don't want to exclude anybody. But yeah, just ask us at the time that you're watching this video who we're currently recommending. And I promise you it will not be because we benefit in any way other than just our customers are happy.
Yeah, like I said, trust the professional. Sometimes if you're going to manage yourself, that extra 20% that you're paying for a rental management company is that extra 20% that you're not going to make it. So kind of, you might break even, but
at least you wouldn't have to put the work into it.
right.
So,
because it's a full-time job.
Right. Yes, very well. And there are some companies that may do a good job in the 10% range. What I recommend is asking for historical data to back it up. If that is not available, sometimes and it doesn't just apply to short-term rentals, it applies to business in general. When you don't have anything of value to add besides your discount,
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think you get the message there.
Right.
I would ask for proof of what they're claiming that they can generate for you on an annual
Right.
basis. And I'm not saying that, if you find somebody that will do it for 10%, that they're not going to do a good job. I'm just saying be careful and
Very important to
do your homework.
go check their websites, go check their reviews, go check how they represent those units online, because like in everything now, everybody is online looking at purchasing.
Yeah, and there's a difference too there. I don't want to get too off into the weeds on it because it's not our specialty. We don't offer that service, but we do recognize the difference. Some people may say, yeah, I do online advertising, and they might put it on like one platform. I mean, could you imagine if you hired a real estate agent and they put it on their own website and it gets like 5 clicks a month or something? Or would you rather go with someone that's like, yeah, I syndicate you to 900 websites and I do this and I do that, and they're all over the place. I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but
Right. Or they say, I do professional photography, and you go to their website and you see those iPhone photos. Oh, Lord.
Or how old an iPhone are we talking here? Because the new ones, you can kind of fake it, but you also need to know how to use it.
Right.
But we're talking like thumbs and then taking. Okay, enough of that.
Right on.
Most everyone is
Got the picture.
literally. Pros and cons of using someone that is an on-site rental manager versus someone that is working remote. In our experience, some of the arguments to use somebody on site would be for, well, when something bad happens in the unit, our team gets up there instantly.
Right.
If they're open.
Heard that. Good point.
So everything's a matter of perspective. The people that have off-site management, they still have their vendors. They still need to pick up the phone. I'm not saying don't use the on-site company. Again, this goes back to do your homework, do your research on the return that they have proven that they've done for other owners.
Right.
One thing that I will back up 100% is that if you have on-site, you might have walk-ins that if it's the low season and somebody walks in, is there a great percentage of that? I would say no. But that is one pro that I think an on-site rental management company could have is somebody walks in and says, hey, I'm looking for a room.
And not every building have it.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next chapter. What does the HOA offer for the money that you're going to give them? Usually I say now is a good time for it. You get what you pay for.
Right on.
There are some complexes like Edgewater where the HOAs are a little bit higher, but you get golf. If there's a golf course within the complex that you get to use as part of your HOA dues. Mm-hmm. If you don't like golfing, you're just going to be paying some extra HOAs in comparison to other buildings that you may not otherwise. So, you get, help me out here.
So basic is the water and sewer.
Okay.
That is always included on the HOA fees when you are in a building.
Right. Usually it's the pool. There's like
the pool, the
security.
management, security, if they have it, if it's gated, if it's parking.
Pest control usually.
Right.
Building insurance. But one thing, I'm going to leave another link down below for you guys. I'm going to start keeping track because our MLS, I don't think, has a field for this. I'm going to start tracking the HOAs that include electricity.
Yeah, there's only a handful of those.
Right.
The newest one is Seychelles, as an example, and one of the oldest ones is Continental.
Right.
Because,
those are the two that I know about.
And here's a little fun fact. Why does Continental include electricity? Because they originally built as a hotel. And then they turn into be a condo, and everybody owned their own unit in there.
So after checking that link and bookmarking it, you guys, if you see something that should be on the list, if you know of something that should be on the list and I haven't included it there yet, let me know and I'll be happy to confirm and then add it to the list. But because, like Alice was saying, there's not very many of them, the list is going to probably be fairly accurate and very small. Okay, so we're at our final topic that we're going to cover in this video, and it's a question that I probably get every single day. And it is, Sean, if you had X number of dollars, where would you be shopping? What condo would you be buying? What building would you be investing in? And I'll tell you, that's tough because I would say 99.9% of the people that come to us looking to buy a condo in Panama City Beach, they're not looking at this as a commercial purchase. Or what we say in commercial real estate is that it is not emotional. It's just about the numbers.
Right.
And I will tell you, every single time on looking at residential condos now, when someone has told me it's just about the ROI or the return on investment, without fail, every single time I've presented a few different options, got rental projections or rental history together. We developed a pretty good estimate on the cost to own. They run the numbers and then they go, well, I don't like the amenities. I don't like the view. I don't like this. I don't like that. And that's okay.
Right.
That's fine.
Because it does have a little bit of personal enjoyment in it.
Right. So 99.9% of the people that are buying condos here, whether they start off with the idea that this is going to be an investment, that personal enjoyment factor is important. So when you ask me, where would I be investing? I'm not the same as you. So my response is usually, well, who am I? Tell me who I am. Because
what kind of clientele you wanted to rent that for?
And if we're just really asking me because you want to buy what Sean would buy, then fine, I'll tell you about me. I've had skin cancer a few times. I don't want to be in the pool. I don't want to be in the sun. So those things are not as important to me. What is important to me is the view and being able to open the balcony door in the spring and the fall and hear the waves and not the motorcycles going across the road in front of the balcony. But that's me.
And I want to be on that sweet spot between the second and the 8th floor, the 6th floor, so I can see the beach. I can see the sand, I can see the water, and I can hear it.
So if you have kids or grandkids, maybe you'd be more interested in a building that has a lot of games, amenities, splash pads, little water parks, if you will, within the amenities. Maybe you're the type of person that wants to sunbathe, and the entire time you're on vacation here, or that one weekend out of the year that you're using it, that's where you want to be. Right.
Or if you like the peace and calm, if you come over here and you want to go to the St. Andrews Park, or if you like to shop by Pier Park.
Right. Does the traffic bother you? Like Alice was saying, do you want to be on the quiet side of the beach where there is no traffic? Do you want to ride a bicycle, or do you want to spend all your time at the beach? Now, here's an interesting one. Maybe I should start another Google Maps list for this. There are certain buildings, if you are, let's say, one member of the family wants to be on the beach 24/7 while they're here. Another member of the family wants to go fishing the entire time, and you're going to bring your boat. Well, there's a few buildings I can think of where you can bring your boat. Dunes of Panama, Emerald Beach Resort, St. Thomas Square. Those are just a few examples of places where you could bring your trailer, boat, and park it there
Right.
while you're staying.
Dunes of Panama, you can even leave your boat there in your trailer.
Yeah. So if you're an owner.
Right.
Which brings me to another point. Pets. Do you want to bring your pet on vacation with you? Are owners' pets allowed? If it's important to you that your renters also are allowed to bring their pets, I can only think of one complex right now, that Sugar Beach, that allows renters to
bring their pets.
So all of these little things that are important to you are important to tell your agent. If you really can stick to what is the best building on return on investment, then just look at the numbers. It's important, you guys, that you communicate what's important to you so your agent can help you find the right spot and the right fit for you guys.
What's your expectations?
Again, I'm going to say, if you guys have found this information useful, if you're thinking about getting into real estate and you want to work with the people that know this stuff and can help fast track your career, you can either watch our YouTube videos or you can come work in our office.
Right.
Give us a call. We'd love to set up an interview.
Want to be a part of our team? Want to be a Bay Real expert?
And again, on the consumer side of things, if you guys are looking for representation, buying or selling in Panama City Beach, we'd love to help you with that. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in and sticking with us through this really long, but I think very valuable and educational video.
And if there's any topic that we haven't covered, we would love to bring you that information. Just drop us a comment.
Yep, these videos are made off of the top questions that we get and the feedback from you guys. So we're trying to be helpful. So I hope that you've learned the market a little bit better and that you're better positioned to move smart.
So if you're looking for condos here in Panama City Beach, we'd love to help you find the one for you. And if you have another one here in Panama City Beach already that you'd like to get into another opportunity, we'd love to represent you and get you the best price and best offers.
If you made it this far, you're probably going to just be happy to just continue to listen to us talk. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug ourselves a little bit more and say, check the cards area up above, because we can show you how we would market your property. There's links to our website, which will communicate and demonstrate to you at the level that we produce and represent your listings. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. But again, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye for now.